Hey folks, good morning, good morning, good morning. Where's that sound coming from? Oh, we're good. Where's it coming from? I hear noises. Hey, good morning folks. It's a cool mountain morning here in downtown Blue Ridge, Georgia. It is time we're at Sycamore Crossing. Yes, it's good to be back right here at home at this beautiful location, Sycamore Crossing. I'm your host, BKP. This is small town America. You're going to hear live show background noises, maybe delivery trucks, the train, but it's a little cool, Josh, a little cool. But it's perfect weather to me for day trips, mountain hiking, everything. So, all right, first of all, let's get moving along here. Welcome from Florida. If you are on your way to get away from the hurricane, what's the name of that hurricane again, Josh? Dorian. Hurricane Dorian. If you're on your way up to the North Georgia mountains, welcome this weekend. It is Labor Day weekend, so we're going to have a lot of visitors, but I predict with landfall coming. Now, Governor Ron DeSantis has not put mandatory evacuations in yet. We understand that there is a state of emergency, but mandatory evacuations have not been put in place for the storm. And if and when that happens, it should hit landfall, I think, Monday. And then we're going to get some evacuations, and they'll be up here in North Georgia. So welcome if you're coming up to get away from the storm. And we hope everybody down there stays safe, okay? You don't play games with these storms. Second, before we get on to the show, who will be the next senator, U.S. senator from the great state of Georgia? Who will that be? Brian Kemp has a pick, okay? And it's for those in Georgia, it's not a college football pick, all right? Josh, I got to clear that up. I got people like Josh that thinks, hey, is this a college football pick? Because it's college football time, right? We can't get into that, but college football time. But no, the governor of Georgia will have a pick coming up. Johnny Isakson, the senator of Georgia, has retired. We wish him well. He wanted to finish his term. A lot of people out there, it's not the time and place to debate that, okay? I have seen Johnny at several events, the senator, and yes, he is struggling. Parkinson's, a list of health concerns there for him and his family that he is retiring. I pick and think the next senator will be the 9th Congressional District, Representative Doug Collins. That's my pick, okay? I think that's what Brian Kemp will do for with the word plethora? I don't know, just for a couple reasons, okay? Don't know if we want to get into the plethora of it. But anyhow, all jokes aside, I think he will pick Congressman Collins for one. The 9th District should be a safe district for Republicans, so that we would not lose that Republican seat in the 9th District. And I think Doug Collins can win a statewide race. Now, we'll get into that with the all-star panel. Oh, by the way, Joe Biden stood on a stage and told absolutely a 3-minute lie. Did you miss that? About his trip to Afghanistan? Even it's so bad. How bad is it? It's so bad. Even the Washington Post has picked it apart on every level of what Joe Biden said about that heroic trip. Every bit of it's a lie. Wow. We'll see what the panel thinks about that. So listen, here's what we got coming up. Ask the Doc with Dr. William Whaley right on the other side of this break. Then we have the expert all-star political panel. You know what they're an expert at, Josh? I was thinking about this morning. We have been saying, the all-star political panel for years now. And I'm thinking, you know what, that's great, but they're experts. You know what they're an expert at? They're an expert at being just good Americans, man. I have 3 just good Americans here, and they're experts at doing it, and you're going to enjoy it when it comes time. So let's move on to there. After that, we have North Georgia Senior Living. We have North Georgia Senior Living with Jesse Barton, the Community Relations Director at Cameron Hall. And after that, we have, who else do we have? Oh, the Pet of the Week from the Humane Society of Blue Ridge. So I'm your host, BKP. We're going to take a brief break. It'll be time for Dr. Whaley.
Ace is your healthful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Do you feel like healthcare has become too impersonal?
3 times an hour, I'll get you in, I'll get you out.
At Lifetime Medical Center, you're more than a number. We get to know you, not just your medical issues. Dr. Alana Kent is board certified in family practice and offers same-day appointments. She and her staff treat conditions from minor to chronic issues. Lifetime Medical Center, convenient to Jasper and Blue Ridge.
This may sting a little.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Hey folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. We're live here at Sycamore Crossing in downtown Blue Ridge. A little cool this morning, Dr.
Yeah, I
Whaley.
just had to leave and run in there. And this is a really old Thrasher hockey jacket. The quickest thing I could find. Well, I'm about to freeze. It was 54 degrees on my porch. Heat wave. Global warming.
All right, Dr. Whaley's about to freeze, but we're not going to let it happen. You know what? I want to say hello. I know last week you were on the show. I'm the one that was not here. Give me just, I know you and Rick got into it, but give me just a brief How did you enjoy Russia?
Well, I'll tell you, it was great. And, we showed a video last week, and we saw people from the lowest level of work cleaning tables to the co-director of the astronaut program. We probably had one-on-one conversations with at least 30 Russians. And to a man, they said socialism and communism are failed experiments. We are trying to dig ourselves out of socialism, and anybody in the United States with socialistic ideas for your country doesn't know socialism. So with that,
good.
I want to say there's a lot of stuff happened this week that you can talk to your expert panel, and I think that you were talking about my friend Johnny. Johnny and I are Buckhead.
I knew
Johnny
that.
and I are Buckhead boys. Went to the same high school, and I was in contact with his chief of staff. What's today? Friday, Tuesday and Wednesday. So I think the biggest things to discuss with the expert panel is this chicken sandwich war and the crowding and the discourtesy that they showed in the Costco in Shanghai when it opened yesterday. So those are probably much more. Those are much more important than Comey or the Senate or the fact that Epstein was involved in all this stuff. Don't you think the chicken sandwich war and the Costco?
Well, I tell you what I'm going to do. When I get to the panel, I'm going to open with that, see how they go. If they go with that, we will.
All right, I just wanted you to know. I mean, I keep up with all this stuff, My wife's the one that dives a deep rabbit hole, and I've been trying to solve the chicken sandwich war for 2 days, but I can't get it up here. Go ahead.
All right, anyhow. Hey, listen, we want to thank North Georgia Cancer Research Center, affiliated with Northside Hospital. We appreciate them for this segment. I don't have them pulled up here.
Good, I'm getting ready.
I have 3 phones now. I used to have 2.
I know that. All you need is a few pieces of paper here, and I got about 30. I want to say, first of all, that the questions we've got this week, I could do 2 hours on each of them. You want 2 hours on each or no? You want 2 hours on each? All right. So the first question is, someone told my mother that everyone has cancer cells, but it only affects some people. Do we all have cancer cells?
I've heard that in the past, that we're all carrying it.
You got it. Put it up. Put the first one up there, because at the end of this, I hope that within the next few minutes, you'll have some appreciation of why you need to do things that support your immunity. And that means exercise supports your immunity, good diet supports your immunity, and staying away from things that we know cause cancer mutations helps your immune system fight which ones we have. Put that first big old one up there. It says cancer arises from gene mutations. So we're going to talk about everything on the right-hand side of this page. The first one is germline mutations. That means sperm and egg, and it came back from before you were born. So that is not what this question's about.
Okay.
This question's about somatic mutations that occur to the human being after he's born. And remember, I believe it's a human being after its sperm meets the egg, and that we're not going to get into abortion or anything. So we're going to talk just about the non-inheritable onset of mutations that cause cancer cells to occur in the body, which is really what this question's about. So just go to that next one there, and we'll flash it up for just a second. There are a variety of these causation things that we've talked about before, and we were talking about colon cancer one time, and I said that my wife's mother is one of a SIB ship of I think there were 10, one died, that leaves 9, and 5 of those 9 have had colon cancer. So if you look at this hereditary MLH1 mutations, well, that's just hereditary non-polyposis colon cancer, or Lynch syndrome. So we know that there is a genetically linked form of cancer. This is the kind we're not talking about. So put that down again. Are you ready? Now we're getting into science. What are those things?
DNA?
Yeah, you go. Chromosomes and DNA. Yes. All right. So causes of cancer. Cancers.
I noticed those. I recognize them from some textbook, like in the 9th grade.
It's good. Or from about 20 more of our old segments.
Okay, there you go.
All right. So cancer starts with a mutation in the DNA.
Right. Okay.
All right. And what a mutation means is a change in the DNA sequence. So we're not going to get all into this down here. You can duplicate them, invert them, delete them, insert them, translocate them. So we're going to go from the DNA, now we're going to the cell. And then I'm going to slow down here just a minute after we get to the end of this one. So up here you got a normal cell.
Right.
It has one mutation, second mutation, third mutation. This cell is dividing every time. So this cell now became 2, and then it mutated. So way down here at the bottom, after you've got about 4 or more changes that have occurred in sequence, you get a malignancy. You got that? Pull that one off, and I want to talk about lung cancer just a minute. All right, we know that there are people here in these mountains, particularly ones who worked in the copper mine over there, who've smoked 2 packs of cigarettes a day for 50 years, and they may have emphysema and chronic obstructive lung disease and cough and wheeze and be short of breath, but they never got lung cancer. And we know that there are people that smoked a pack a day for 25 years or 30 years, in other words, 25% of what they smoked, and they got lung cancer. Same brand, same neighborhood, same everything else. Why did one guy with the lower cigarette smoking get lung cancer and the other didn't? They would have in their tracheobronchial tree or in their body the ability of that enzyme in there to convert a chemical in smoke into something like you'd say the ethylene chloride that's now down in Smyrna or something. Right. So we'll just say converts it into something that has the possibility, not that it will, but has the possibility of inducing a malignancy. So that would be that first mutation thing up there. It would wiggle up the DNA. All right, once that's happened, it sort of laid the groundwork for some other enzyme to cause a second mutation, and by the time you get to there, you may have softened that cell so much that a chemical within the smoke itself that guy number 1 is still getting, but he's not able to make mutation 1 or mutation 2, that mutation occurs. So 3 or 4 different events have to occur before that cancer cell becomes malignant. All right, at every step, once that mutation has occurred, the body has its own immune mechanism by which it can recognize that as not being, it shouldn't be there. So it's like you've stepped on a splinter and your body puts the white cells out and makes pus around it and spits it out, or somebody with the flu sneezes in your face and your body starts to make antibodies against that virus, right? So it can make an antibody against that wrong cell, and it can clear it. Because we're going to get something here in a minute that's going to blow your mind. I want you to jump over and get the one with the lungs. That's the third one on this list. Since I'm talking about lungs, we're going to go to this one in a minute. This is a much longer slide they're seeing there. But this tells you how many cancer mutation events occur in a single year in one patient who smokes. So one patient who smokes will have 150 of these cells in his lung in a year. He'll have 39 of them in his pharynx in a year. You know, the lung's the most common, pharynx is X. You just go across that long chart there. That is a ton of genetic mutations that occur in cigarette smokers in the course of a year. So, to answer this question first, we'll stick to the lung. There will be enough of these so that 150 times in a year, a heavy cigarette smoker's body will have to fight and find the cancer cell. 39 times they'll have to do it in the pharynx. So that question is yes, that guy's getting cancer cells all the time. All right, pull that one off and we'll go back to that long one that's got all the polyps in there. So now we're going to go into what happens next in the, I mean, we be careful about time here. what happens next in this sequence. So what happens in this sequence is, this is a colon sequence and not a lung sequence. It's a little bit better. But what begins to happen when I said it was preparing the soil for it to get malignant is that the normal lining of the lung or the colon begins over time to get kind of rough and angry looking. You can imagine that you've got eczema and you keep scratching your hand and it gets a little red and then it gets a little pussy. Next thing you know, you've got something you got to go get looked at. Well, that is happening on a molecular basis. You can pull that one down. That's happening on a molecular basis in your gastrointestinal tract, in your lung, in all those places all day, every day, and your natural immunity is getting rid of it. Now, how many of these mutations can we actually identify? We're going to stop with this next one on the lung. All right, and we won't go to the one about the breast in the interest of time. But in lung cancer now, if you just look this up, we now can recognize that's bigger than half the pie, right?
Yes, it is.
We actually know what the genetic mutation was that caused that patient's lung cancer. So if you look over here on the right, KRAS and EGFR, you don't really care about that, but I keep talking about targeted therapy. The progress that's been made in cancer in the last 2 to 4 years is not in early detection, it's not in surgery, it's not in radiation. It's in recognizing what gene drove the malignant process, and now we have non-chemotherapy, non-radiation, non-surgical drugs that hit those individual genetic mutations. Now, the bad side of that is, as I've said, those are those drugs that are $10,000 a month, and you got to have some kind of help to get them done. I had another slide that showed the same thing for breast cancer, but basically, yes, everybody is having cancer-causing events in their normal life. Yes, they occur not just several times a year, but multiple times per day, and your immune system is able to surveil those and wipe them out. And you've got to be careful to support your immunity by a good diet, limited alcohol, get rid of tobacco. Exercise definitely supports your immunity, and when you look at the television set, you get CoQ10 and the rest of that stuff. I'm going to tell you BS.
Got it.
Like BS?
BS.
Don't buy the CoQ10. All right?
Okay, all right. That is great information. Sometimes you'll say, well, this one right here, I'm running long or whatever. When it comes to this show and this program and the information that we're giving the viewers out there, I want to tell you how much I appreciate it, because that's very good information. I always was told for years, like, everybody's walking around with the cell or whatever.
Correct. Right.
And it's just when it mutates.
No, it's already mutated.
Mutate.
Yeah.
I mean, it's when. Wait, tell me exactly.
It's when your immunity
right,
doesn't recognize it and can't pull it away and kill it.
Exactly. Right.
All
okay.
Right? Because you're getting slammed every day with 100 viruses. You go in a grocery store and you pick up the thing, and you're scratching your skin. The body is fighting stuff all day, every day. You're familiar with it, fighting the flu and the cold, and they stuck your foot. This is at a genetic level, but it's the same thing. It's your body's immunity recognizing something that it's not you and shouldn't be there.
Folks, we want to thank North Georgia Cancer Research, affiliated with Northside Hospital. We really appreciate Northside Hospital for this segment. Dr. Whaley, what is our second question?
Well, I want to congratulate the host, and I want people to put it in their book, because when I flashed that thing up, that was chromosomes, DNA, and RNA mutations, he jumped all over that like a duck on a June bug, as we say down here in the South, and he recognized it. So he learned something in school up there. All right, the next one.
I've been taking this class with you for years.
Years, that's right. All right. Now we're going to get off. My friend has been on the keto diet for a while, and she's developed a rash and told it was a side effect of the keto diet known as keto rash. Is that real? Can the keto diet make you develop a rash, and if so, what causes this? Forget the rash. We're going to talk about the keto diet and about diets, because I think that's true, and unrelated. It's like, I just had a big car wreck yesterday when I started chewing Wrigley's spearmint gum. We know they both happened at the same time, but they weren't related. Put up the keto diet one.
Both happened at the same time, but weren't related.
Yeah, true, and unrelated. That's an answer on college boards. This is an area of so much hype and misunderstanding that we're going to focus attention on diet today.
Just move on.
First thing here is a keto diet grocery list. And if you look at this keto diet grocery list, which is, look at it, and it's got everything on here. We've been talking about spinach and kale and broccoli and asparagus and all that stuff. But look at it. If you look at every single solitary food group you know about's on there, except cakes, cookies, ice cream, bread, butter, and dessert. I mean, this is basically every healthy food that we've talked about in the past.
Right.
And so somebody wrote them a book about the keto diet, and they stole stuff that goes way back in time we're going to come to in a few minutes. So the issue here is who needs to worry about weight loss, and how do you go about losing weight, and where does the keto diet, or where does any of the other diets with a name fit into this program? All right. Now let's get this next fancy chart up here. Classification of overweight and obesity by the BMI and waist circumference, all right? Now, we're not going to get too technical about this, but the BMI, basal metabolic index, confuses everybody. So if a man has a waistline that is at 40 inches, his risk of every...
There's not a need to pause and look at me.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, right.
I didn't. But if he does, he has an increased risk of everything that's on the list. I mean, from dandruff to athlete's foot, every heart attack thing in between. And if a woman's waist size reaches 32 to 35, she's in the same category. So that's kind of easy. So that's the first one. Now, second one here, let's put up this next one. We're going to confuse everybody. So now you want to figure out, I'm going to try and structure my own diet. You got the second one up there? This is the World Health Organization's equations for estimating energy expenditure. There is our train. Ain't it wonderful?
Yep.
No beer truck either yet. All right, so this would confuse a dadgum PhD here. So here is the science of what is lean and ideal body weight, and how do I calculate my body by caloric expenditure. At maturity, let's say 22 to 25 years old, 85 to 90% of men will be at 20% body fat or less, in other words, a normal BMI, if they weigh 105 pounds for the first 5 feet of height and 5 pounds for each additional inch. Got that in your head?
Yeah, I'm doing the math.
All right.
Move right along now.
Women would be 100 pounds for the first 5 feet and 5 pounds for each additional inch. So a 5'5" tall woman at age 22 to 25 or so would weigh 125, and she should be at lean and ideal body weight. 25, 5'5". Okay, now, once you go above that, you're going above the normal body fat. Now, you can go above that before you get into the obese category, but you're in the overweight category as soon as you go much above that. So how many calories per day do I need to eat to maintain my weight? So this is easy. At 25, you burn up 10 calories per pound of body weight per day in just living a relatively sedentary life. Now, if you are fairly active, you can add 25% to that. So now we have a 125-pound woman. She should burn up 1,250 calories per day. If she's a secretary or a legal secretary, 25% of that is going to be about another 400 calories. That's going to get her to 1,600 to 1,700 calories. That'll maintain her body weight. Now, if she becomes exercises, walks, she'll burn up 100 calories every mile she walks. So she can just add that. Or if she plays 6 sets of tennis in 2 hours, she can add 140 calories, but she can't add a jelly donut. You with me still? All right, so now we know how many calories per day you're going to burn up. Now, how many calories have you got to burn up to lose a pound? To lose a pound, you have to burn up 3,600 calories. So, if you're walking an hour a day, which is 4 miles, that means you're burning up 400 extra calories per day. That would take you 8 days to get to 3,200 calories. You would lose 1 pound. So when a guy says, I've been on a diet for 2 weeks and I haven't lost anything, you really don't expect to lose a lot of weight too quickly. All right, now I'm going to go to one last thing and you're going to have a heart attack with it. If you are at exactly balanced weight and diet so that you maintain your average body weight and you add 5 grapes a day to your diet, well, your brain can't see the difference between balance and an extra 5 grapes, right? But if you add an extra 5 grapes to your diet, you will gain about 3.5 to 4 pounds a year. Well, that doesn't sound like much, does it? But it's 40 pounds in 10 years. So you just look at what happens to people when they hit 20 or 25 and they start gaining 10 pounds in 10 years, and then by the time you're in 30s and 40s, they're overweight. So now we're going to go, you do or don't have Jane's, you got Jane's carbohydrate food triangle here. No, this isn't you. This is Jane that published the book. So, this is the key of every one of these diets. The first one that made a difference was called the Atkins diet. Remember that?
Yes, I do very well.
Okay, so now when you read a scientific article in the scientific literature, it generally will have diets. It has the Mediterranean diet. It will have the Atkins diet, which is the keto diet, exactly the same thing. It will have a non-obligate vegetarian type diet in there, but the Atkins diet is the keto diet and is the foundation of the low carbohydrate diet. Now, the healthy one is low carbohydrate, protein sparing. So if you look at Jane's low carb food triangle, and you can take that down, there are starches in there. You see you got beans and peas and fruits, and there's an avocado in there with fat in it, and there's some asparagus over there, and there's cheese and meat down at the bottom. But what's not in there is what? Cakes, cookies, ice cream, bread, butter, dessert, mayonnaise. All right. So now we go to the largest successful diet program in the United States, which is
Weight Watchers.
Weight Watchers. By God, what Weight Watchers has done to the carbohydrate, protein-sparing, keto-type diet that makes it so successful is, what do you see at the top?
Rice, sweet
potatoes. They got potatoes in their diet. And I've said that the Atkins diet and the keto diet and all of those diets that make you lose weight rapidly, that are so successful, they don't have anything white in it. So there's no rice, potatoes, and no pasta.
Right.
Why is Weight Watchers successful by allowing rice, potatoes in it?
I'm not for sure. I mean, I don't know.
Well, they only allow a little bit.
Oh, okay. A little bit.
They only allow a little bit. And it ain't French fries. So a potato's a healthy food with fiber in it. So if you boil it or you bake it, you don't slab it with butter, that's a healthy food. So that's what Weight Watchers has done, has taken the keto type, Atkins type diet, liberalized it a little bit, and then brought you into an AA type group or something to have some support from people around you and hold you accountable by making you come in 2 or 3 times a month to weigh. Whereas the keto diet and those other things at home don't. And if you go on Atkins and keto and you lose from 240 pounds down to 180 pounds, you can't stay on that diet or you're going to go too low. So you begin to revert to your old eating habits. So what Weight Watchers does is it puts you on a diet you don't ever have to change. You don't have to stop doing it because you can stick with that program. Now, this is the simple thing for the listener out there who wants to do a balanced diet, easy to do, and not pay the $700 to quick weight loss centers that Neil Bortz pays. You go down to Ingles or over here to the Food Lion, and in their frozen food section, you're going to find TV dinners by Healthy Choice, Weight Watchers, and all the rest of them. And you go in, and they're $1 a piece. I mean, they're cheap. You go in there and you buy you a big old stack of those things and take them home. And for breakfast, you get up in the morning and you have you a couple of eggs, protein, or you have one of those protein drinks. For lunch, you have little lunch meat and a salad. And for supper, you pull that thing out of the freezer and stick it in there. It's going to be 500 or 600 calories, and you use it. And then you reward yourself from your good behavior with a cup full of strawberries with a little bit of cottage cheese on it at bedtime, and walk a little bit, and you've now got either the Nutrisystem or any of the others that mails you your food, that's what comes in the freezer, or you've got the keto type diet, and you've got exactly what Quick Weight Loss Center will sell you for $500. It's what Neil Bortz is paying to get his weight loss.
You know what I'm thinking about this afternoon? A nice big pasta dish with sauce.
All right, hey Ken, Ken at Blue Jeans, I'm not trying to get you out of business.
I'm just thinking a good pasta dish. No, I get it. It's applying it. So,
right.
Well, let's move.
But anyway, they wanted to know about the keto diet. We did it for them, didn't we? All right. It does not cause a rash. That's true, and unrelated.
It does not. It's chewing gum and wrecking, having
That's
a car
true,
accident. Right.
true, and unrelated. That's right.
All right, folks. At this time, we always like to give Dr. Whaley a couple minutes to share what might be new in out there in the medical world, or whatever you want to close with. This is your time.
All right. What's old is new again.
What's old is new again.
Way back in the 1970s.
I'll take what's old is new again for $200, Alex.
What's old is new again. Back in the 1970s, yours truly was the medical director of the largest narcotic treatment program in the world, and my wife and I used to lecture all over the area about drug prevention. And I made the statement that marijuana use is unsafe in adolescents and in pregnant women because it interferes with brain function and brain development, and that's been in the news the last 2 days. Way back in the 60s and 70s, a great group of experiments were done which you would not be allowed to do today because of all this informed consent, Green New Deal rules, but medical students and military were given the opportunity to participate in clinical trials and were paid to smoke marijuana. And there was a group that smoked cigarettes that were not marijuana but weren't cigarettes, but they couldn't tell the difference, only 3 times a week for 4 weeks, which is a low amount. The test was calculation. I say just like balancing a checkbook. And in 3 times a week of marijuana use for 4 weeks, your ability to make calculations went down. We call that the acalculation syndrome. Second thing was that they looked at young adolescents and measured their testosterone, their estrogen for women, and so forth, and they could see a pattern of diminished sex hormones in the prepubertal and pubertal adolescent, and it was said that an expert in this area could go to a high school, and we've done this, sit up in the grandstands and get a gym class on the field, on the court down there. I think you heard me tell this before, and divide the pot-smoking boys, the habitual pot-smoking boys, from the non-pot-smoking boys from the top row of the grandstand. Because the pot-smoking boys are going to look like Mick Jagger because their testosterone's low, their muscle mass is low, and the non-pot-smoking boys are going to look like everybody else. The pot-smoking girls are going to look like Twiggy and have little in the way of secondary sexual characteristics, and the other girls are going to look like normal 13-year-old girls. Well, that has hit the news. That's hit the news in the last 3 days, that marijuana smoking interferes with growth, development, sexual activity, and brain activity of kids since they've legalized marijuana in so many states, and we could have told you that in the 70s. So what is old is new again. How's that?
That's good. Listen, we want to thank North Georgia Cancer Research Center, affiliated with Northside Hospital. We appreciate Northside Hospital for this segment. Don't forget, you can ask the doc a question. Find our social media page, fetchyournews.com. You'll always see Ask the Doc come up throughout the week if you want to put something there. We try to keep up with that, but the best way to get a question to Dr. Whaley is info, I-N-F-O, info at fetchyournews.com. Put in the subject line, Ask the Doc, send a question, and we'll get it to Dr. Whaley. Again, I appreciate you very much. We're all wearing a jacket. Everybody seems to have a jacket or long sleeve shirts this morning. Beautiful weather.
54 degrees on the porch.
Beautiful weather. I like it. Hey, folks, we're going to take a break, and remember, we're going to come back with the expert panel. Expert panel. They're no longer just the all-star. They are the all-star expert panel, and let me tell you, they're experts at just being good Americans. So you're going to enjoy it. We'll be back right after this.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in Ella next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in Ella next to Walmart.
Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Better days ahead. The summer truck event is here at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. So come get a payload of savings on Georgia's favorite trucks, like over $11,000 off new Silverado crew cabs, or more than $6,000 off Colorado crew cabs. Every Chevy truck and SUV is discounted for this special event. Don't miss out. The summer truck event at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where new Chevy trucks always cost less.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Circuit World, with multiple locations to serve you in Murphy and Franklin, North Carolina, Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and Ellijay, Georgia. Locally owned and operated since 1985. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. Name brand products like LG, Samsung, Dell, Whirlpool, Ashley, Catnapper, and more. No credit check, only 10% down on furniture, and only $10 down on any new lease purchase. Mention FYN10 for your special deal today at Circuit World.
Hey folks, we're back. The train, the bell, you hear the bell?
I hear the train coming.
We got the Blue Ridge Railroad. We're at Sycamore Crossing right here. Beautiful morning. Everybody has the jacket. You've got,
I got my hand warmers.
Hand warmers. I love it though. It's
I got
great.
my clip-on mittens too.
Huh?
Did you ever have clip-on mittens?
Well, you know, I was. Would you stop with that? Not clip-on mittens. Don't.
Yeah,
I know you did not.
He got rid of them.
No, I just have all these memories now that just flashed of my clip-on mittens. You know, there's a thing when you're young, you get clip-on mittens. When you get older, you got to get clip-on mittens.
Kind of like diapers.
Wait a minute. Let's. Oh my gosh, where did this go?
The technology in pull-ups is getting really good though.
So I'm sitting here this morning and I'm thinking to myself, it's cold. I'm on with Dr. Wade. I'm like, there's a breeze. Where's the breeze? There's a fan over my head. I'm like, where's the breeze coming from? Hey, folks, this is Bruce, Bruce, Rick, Jane, and I'm your host, BKP. We're at Sycamore Crossing here in Blue Ridge. And, okay, I don't know where you want. Let's start here, okay? Let's go this because we're in Georgia, and we're going to get a new U.S. Senator, okay? Brian.
That was on my list.
Is that on your list, Bruce?
Johnny Isaacs.
We're taking the easy stuff first, folks, because this is going to be a no-brainer.
Well, you know, we're going. We're going to get a new U.S. Senator. Johnny has retired, and we'll leave the criticism alone for today. Let everybody out there criticize when he retired and this, that, and the other. But Johnny is a long time. He has been. Let's see. He originally had Newt Gingrich's district, correct? He
Marietta.
was right down to Marietta,
Yep.
and then Newt took that, and then U.S. Senator. So Johnny is retiring Parkinson's and several other health concerns, but that gives Governor Brian Kemp an opportunity to appoint somebody, and so I'm going to come out of the box. I think. I mean, there's a lot of speculation all across the state. I think he'll appoint Doug Collins.
Oh, that was my guess.
And that's just, to me, that's easy.
Well, Collins said
you went with the lieutenant governor at first, and I'm thinking to myself, why is he going there when we got Doug Collins sitting here?
I have a reason why I think there's still a possibility that Jeff Duncan could be picked. Okay, I don't know. You got to realize there's something. First of all, when I go with the lieutenant governor, I don't want to get into some of my reasons why.
That's an internal thing,
All right.
truly.
But
Under the gold dome, that's an internal thing.
Right. But I
Wanna
will
get him out
say
of there.
Jeff Duncan did win a statewide race. So you've got to think of whoever you appoint. There's a couple things here. Whoever the governor appoints has to win a statewide race because they're going to run in November.
Well, I think Doug Collins has become
a
such
year in November.
No, this year.
This year.
2020.
2020.
But yeah, the election's a year from now. He'll be appointed now.
Don't confuse me. Okay, I mean,
folks.
don't get.
Whoa, I thought he was in for 3 years.
2020 special
Collins?
election.
Special election.
It'll be
'cause he
November.
Retired. Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be November presidential election. It'll be on the ballot.
Well, that means that Georgia's going to be in play with 2 senators.
Exactly.
Absolutely. The Democrats have already put that out.
Right.
Yeah.
They're saying this is our chance for take the. But anyhow, the thing is whoever the governor appoints has to be able to win a statewide election. Duncan has done that. That's one of the things I was looking at. But Collins has great name recognition right now.
No question.
And I would say in his, I hate to call it political career. I don't even like that. But I'd say in his political career, he's at the top of his game.
He is.
You know what I mean?
I mean, his face is a regular fixture on television.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And he did make a statement on Fox. I sent his office a message. I will say this out loud. I always send a message and I say jokingly, do I need to refer to the congressman as senator now? Right. And they sent me back and said, we're going to stay with our comment that Congressman Collins said on Fox. He did say when he was asked, he would be open to discussing that seat. So
he said he would be honored.
Right.
The way I thought
You're probably right. I read the article.
Yeah, they called him, and I heard it live when I was
He did
driving.
an interview from Phoenix or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah. But the district he comes from, I mean, they would then appoint someone to fill that, and
we'd have a special election.
Is that a safe district for Republicans?
Well, that's
Bill said
happens
he
to
thought
be
it
where
was.
we're at. The 9th.
So is that?
That's another thing in play. The 9th district is a safe Republican district.
Yeah.
Third most conservative district in the United States, congressional district. That's another thing that comes into play. So if Collins becomes the senator, I think he could win a statewide election. That's a plus. Then this district here, the 9th district where we're at, would safely go to a Republican. So
Who could step into his shoes here, do you think?
I don't know, because I'll tell you what, that rumbling is not started yet. It will start close to right after Labor Day here. I think the governor's going to wait for Labor Day to get, I don't think we're going to get a surprise over the weekend. And as soon as Collins would be picked, that rumbling would start.
I think that's the real question.
You know what I mean?
As to who's going to take the rep seat, the District 9 seat.
All right, I lead the league on going out on the limb. So I'm going to go way out on the limb here.
Yeah,
okay?
we find you under trees and broken
branches. Yes, I'm going to go way out on the limb.
Yes, okay.
If, I don't say he's going to win, but if Congressman Doug Collins wins or is appointed, former Congressman Paul Brown will run again in this district.
Oh, boy.
That's I didn't say he'll run again. How are you, Jane?
Good.
Well, what do you think about all of this?
Pretty interesting. Y'all take the.
No, would you
here.
be
I think
okay?
Doug
You
Collins
said Collins
is
was
great
on your list
to be the senator. First, when Bill, we were talking, I said, why would he want to leave the House, because we're low there anyway? And he said, it'd be easy. There wouldn't be a trouble of getting another Republican in his place in the House. So having him over at the Senate, I think, would be great.
We've talked on the panel before that the plum is the Senate seat.
Yeah.
I mean, the House really.
Yeah.
The House is the House.
It's got more.
There are a lot
whatever.
of people that say, well, the House is irrelevant.
Well,
the Senate is where all of the
Senate's
rubber
just a
meets
big
the road.
court, yeah.
I'm going to say
Because
this:
it's more prestigious.
Supreme Court,
Supreme Court, federal
Yeah,
judges, all of the appointees.
But I'm going to say this, and I said this when the Democrats took the House back, okay, and I found out Congressman Collins was going to be the ranking member on the Judiciary Committee for the Republicans. I said it on this show a year ago. Would he be the guy to really take that on, really battle, push back? And he has. He has been. He has done an amazing job pushing back against Jerry Nadler and not just letting it go. I give him that.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't take the helm. It was what you really got into was, is he the guy that's going to protect the president?
Right, exactly.
Well, yeah, leader of the
that's the
opposition,
tack
if you will.
that you took, and
Yes.
I think that that's the case.
Yeah, and the British, he'd be the opposition leader on that committee.
Okay, that was on the list. We've solved that. That's solved. How do you like that?
Done,
We're
next.
we're going to go away. We solved that one.
Who's this Brown character?
Oh, now you back that Brown.
I don't know.
You got to look it up. Paul Brown was it the 7th district? Or did he used to be the 7th?
We don't even know him.
He's
so
Congressman
we don't
Paul
know.
Brown. He used to be 7th
Seventh.
district. I think it's 7th district out there in Athens, right?
Yep.
Used to be the congressman out there. He, I think,
Republican.
a couple terms, and he resigned his congressional seat to run for Senate when Zaxby Chambliss was open seat. That's David Perdue now has, and he resigned to run for Senate unsuccessfully. And then 2 years ago, was it 2 years ago or 4 years ago, he made an attempt in this district to run against Collins. So that's where I'm going with that.
The thing that solidified it for me with Doug Collins was the governor's not going to put a plug figure in there just to fill the gap until the next election.
No.
I think he's going to put someone in there that he thinks can win and establish him, and even establish himself more.
Yeah, I think that's Brian's point.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, and Congressman Collins, and let's look at this, the 2020 election. I'm not going to get into strategically doing something, but I think Johnny has resigned to give enough time for somebody to get in the position, get the campaign money they need to get built up to run statewide, and also I do think no matter Sarah Riggs Amico has come out and she's running against David Perdue.
David Perdue, yeah.
She ran for lieutenant governor last time against Duncan. But anyhow, what I think the Republicans and you're going to go pull the lever. I still say pull the lever. I don't know, push the
That
button.
works. There's
I
no
still pull the
lever anymore.
Right, but you're still going to go pull the lever for Donald Trump, David Perdue, and now Doug Collins. So I think not just to say that Collins couldn't win on his own, but I think they feel a Republican sweep is in the cards. I really do, and that could pull that 2 Senate seat. You understand where I'm going with that?
Yeah, just a quick question before we move on to something else. If everything falls into play like we have speculated, does the Georgia Speaker come into play any place for that House of Representatives seat?
You really want to go there right now?
Well, we don't have to. No,
I don't know.
let's save that for a rainy day.
No, I don't know.
I know you don't know.
I don't know, but
I know you don't know.
boy, you
but-
gave me something to go think about.
I mean,
All right, Rick, I like that.
I don't think so.
I don't think so, probably.
Okay.
I was going to ask you about him for this seat, but he's not, I think, statewide electable.
You know what I will say, and I don't know. I mean, our representative here, state representative, Georgia House Speaker David Ralston. To me, if he's in about the best seat and position you can be in the state. I mean, that's so. I don't know why
I
he
think
would,
he's happy there.
Yeah, there you go. I think you go with that. So I don't know why he would even have interest in moving out of that.
If you ask him, he will. That's what he'll say.
What?
He said, "Why would I want to leave what
Yeah,
I have now?
exactly.
I'm in a great spot."
And I think with some of the stuff that's been thrown up against him the last year or two, that probably on a statewide basis,
Yeah, that's a little baggage that he has to, shuffle around with. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay, let's go. I want to go with one more, and then I want to make sure you guys any subject you want. But how about the fact that was it 3 minutes that Joe Biden stood on the stage and gave an emotional story
I don't
about
want
his
the medal, sir.
I had to watch that 3 dadgum times. three different shows.
Why did you watch? Oh, you just watched it on
I mean, I was different. You know, they were. I was going, but I thought I'm going to watch him make a fool of himself one more time.
Wow!
Just can't get enough of that fool.
Now, come on, he's a senior citizen.
What do you think?
Cut him some slack.
Seasoned.
What do I honestly think? I honestly think. Listen, what did he say? This is the truth as a Biden. This is my Biden truth.
Right? Yeah, I remember he
ridiculous.
said like that.
I think he is a bona fide, certified liar over gobs.
Oh, he's
of
got
stuff.
papers, right?
Okay, yeah. He is certified.
He's an embellisher.
He is
He's a
registered.
storyteller.
He is a liar.
Storyteller.
He spins a yarn.
This guy is so nice. I don't know if everyone knows that, but you just found it out. Anyone who
We just found out how nice you are.
Yeah.
That's the nice guy on the panel over there.
He's a liar. He's calculating more than maybe we think. But he is the biggest one, and the biggest one is he is mentally deranged.
I got it.
I think he's down 2 batteries.
Yeah.
I will tell you.
And he only had one.
I will tell you, this is pretty bad when the Washington Post, which is on your...
Wapo came out and
Yeah,
hammered him.
yeah, which is on your Democrat side,
Woo!
just chopped him all up. I was like, whoa. I mean, they dissected everything he said.
You know what that means? The party wants him out of there.
Is he through?
They've given him permission to do that.
Is he through?
Yes.
You think so? He's done.
Are you going to take it as a personal affront if I come over and sniff your hair?
So is
You want a piece of me? No, I didn't say that. Jeez.
You guys are going to have to get yourself under control.
This is how we act when you're gone.
That's what I'm thinking.
Wasn't that Charleston Heston? No.
Bring it back.
The back alley.
Bring it back there.
There you go.
Okay.
All
So
right.
the
Serenity
debate's coming
now.
up. You think Joe's done now? This story, you think he's done?
Joe is
Because-
gonna no.
He's gonna dwindle
No,
down.
he's gonna. I mean, he's gonna
It's
hang
inevitable.
around. But I think it's inevitable. I really
Are,
do.
are they pushing upward just one notch at a time to position Warren as the front runner? Do you see that? I somewhat do.
Who cares?
because
Yeah. Who cares?
I mean, who cares? But I'm not saying let's not. I don't want to argue this, but out of the Democrat group that's running, she is getting the
stand
crowd.
to hear that
She's
woman
she's what you would call crowds. She's getting them. Okay.
Yeah.
Out of the group that's running, she's getting them.
She's the only one. She's the only candidate from the get-go that's at least, regardless of whether you agree with them or not, had some policies.
We've said that all along.
Had a platform that
Exactly.
she runs on.
Albeit.
Yeah, but she's a policy
Exactly.
woman.
Albeit.
I mean,
that's
she's
right.
got
Yeah,
this,
but
this,
whoever-
this, I mean, it's all crap. I mean, it's just.
I
I'm
didn't say you had to
thinking-
agree with it. Yeah.
I'm thinking out of left field. Does Joe survive? I don't know. I don't know if he'll make it. But if he does, I'm thinking Joe and Elizabeth Warren on a ticket.
That'd be it.
okay.
Well,
All right.
I'm with him. It doesn't matter who's running. Isn't it ironic that the Dems tried to make Trump look like he was Amendment 25, and here's Joe out there spouting for the Dems. They
Hey,
were
well, wait a
trying-
minute. Let me tell you something. You crash an economy, and the American people will vote for anybody. Okay? History repeats itself because we crash an economy, and you got a no-name person that nobody knew anything about, and his name was Barack Hussein Obama. So do not get comfortable. No, that's just my thing. Do not get comfortable.
Exactly.
In this whole situation.
Yeah.
The only
Don't
thing
count
they,
your chickens.
right. The only thing they really have to do is crash the economy.
Yeah.
And they've been trying.
They're rumbles.
Community.
They're trying to.
He was a world-renowned community organizer.
In his
Excuse
own
me.
mind.
Excuse me.
That is now up in Martha's Vineyard with a $14.7 million.
Well, we're moving
dollar
on.
house.
Boy, are we talking hypocrite?
All right, so
How big a house do you need?
all right. Before we get to Comey, because I just feel it in the air. Somebody wants to talk
The
about
elephant
that.
in the room.
Comey is
Right,
coming.
Comey. All right, so what's with Fox News? Now I've said jokingly that I call them fixed news. All right, jokingly, they're fixed. What's with Fox News? The president's come out. What's going on there right now with Fox?
I don't know what precipitated it. I mean, he got a few bad stories or something, but yeah, suddenly he's kind of like just pounding them. And Cavuto yesterday when he signed off. Oh my gosh!
I didn't see it, but Cavuto's never been a Trump.
Yeah,
he's never been
a Trumper.
Well, I know he is, but I mean, he said, you said you were going to get the Mexicans to pay for the wall. We're paying.
Right. So
he really went through a litany
and we're
of things.
paying for the tariffs.
Yeah, and he said, if I report stuff that you don't like, that's tough. That's what I do, and he really read the riot act. So I don't know. I don't know what precipitated it. Do you?
He's never liked him.
He's
just feeling free to say
Trump's
it.
statements about Fox.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
You're talking about when
tell me
he was.
What
You're
he
talking
said.
about with the helicopter blade in the background, and he was doing the presser.
What did he say
there.
about Fox?
Yeah, he went through the contributors one by one and said, "This guy doesn't like me. This guy's a good guy. This guy's a good guy. I like Tucker. I like Hannity. I like Laura." But that guy at 5 o'clock, Juan
Shepard Smith. 5 o'clock's Juan.
Juan Williams. He doesn't. He never says anything. Yeah.
Leland Vittert.
Leland Vittert.
Well, I will tell you this: it's
Who's that?
2 weekends, not this past weekend.
Right.
Weekend before that was recession weekend. All the news channels.
Yeah.
That was recession weekend. All the Sunday shows was recession. The inverted yield curve. Did I get that right? Right. It was for 2 hours. It went into negative. So
like
anyhow,
Dr. Pepper.
They did the. They did. I called it recession weekend. Okay. So I happened to be in a household that Fox comes on at 6 in the morning and goes off at 10 o'clock at night, and I'm like,
wait a minute. Is there something wrong with that?
So I happened. So this particular Saturday, Fox participated. I'm sitting there and I'm listening. Throughout the day, Fox participated in recession weekend just like everybody else, as strong as they could. Fox has the independent voters, okay? And I believe, this is my opinion, hashtag deep state corporate corrupt media. That's who they are. All of them, including Fox. They're corporate corrupt media. Fox is playing their role. That's my opinion in this.
The way I look at it, I hadn't thought much about this, but I've been noticing the negative statements about Trump from certain people. But doesn't that give them a bit of a legitimacy, because they're not just in the can?
They're
not in the can. Yeah, so they're saying, hey, whereas the other ones, if they do invite a conservative one, they annihilate them with the sledgehammer. I mean, and so there's that aspect.
Yeah, and Rupert Murdoch's kids.
Oh,
who are
they're
running the show.
awful.
I mean, the
They're
boys.
changing
There's
the-
two boys. They're I think fairly middle of the road, but they're married to two women who are like Hillary supporters.
They're.
I mean, so at home they're getting like,
They're way
come
over
on,
there.
bear down.
What topic did you want to cover this morning?
Well, we got to get into the big C guy, JC.
Go for it.
No,
JC and the Sunshine Band.
Yeah,
that
what-
was Casey.
I think they didn't prosecute. I was listening to is Joe DeGeneva the attorney?
Yes.
Yeah. He and his wife said it perfectly. It wasn't a slam dunk, and they don't want to risk indicting him on, because they can say, well, were they personal things he wrote in his book, and
were they
were
classified
they
at
not?
times?
Yes, they were. And then our favorite friend, the professor.
So you kindly get an understanding why the Department of Justice is
Yeah,
not
I
gonna-
do. And the professor said, what's his
Dershowitz?
name? No, the guy that we love. Anyway.
Oh, Victor Hansen?
Yeah.
Victor Hansen.
He said it perfectly. He said, first of all, they had these 6 or 5 notes, and who is they? They classified 2 of them, non-classified 3 of them. He said, who's they? Who is they? And then they classified them after the fact. So I'd never heard that.
Yeah.
So they say they cannot get Comey. There's too much wishy-washy, and I think that 76-page or whatever it was of Horowitz absolutely ground him up and spit him out. And they're going to get him. I bet that man will go to jail.
Yeah, I thought it was really rich yesterday when he came out with those tweets saying,
God.
okay, everybody step forward and give me my apologies now.
The nerve.
That just
Someone
really...
says, how do you define narcissist?
Well, Some would say him, some would say Trump. I mean, you know, if you get people on both sides.
There are good narcissists and bad narcissists.
As narcissists go.
Yeah,
As
right.
narcissists. We have our good and bad and all. Everything
Kiss
is.
a narcissist.
Do what?
Would you kiss a narcissist?
All right. So, what say you there, Rick? I know. What do you think about the report? Where do you think that leaves things?
First thing I did was I went and reread the bio and the work background of John Durham. And I'm telling you, this guy is a hound dog.
Yeah.
And I think where they really are going to sink their teeth into it is the what was it called? Operation Russian with the dossier. When they threw the dossier,
dossier.
Yeah, they had a name for it. They had.
They did have a name,
whatever.
but I can't pull it up.
Anyway, he's investigating that, and I think when that report comes out, and I even went to try to find out if there's other reports that the IG was doing, the Inspector General, and there was virtually nothing. So I think this was just kind of the opening salvo.
Well, is Durham
with Comey
an IG or
No.
Horowitz the IG, and Durham is just a special prosecutor?
He is a special prosecutor, and he was God, what is? Will you look that up? It's killing me, Josh. The name of that it's so much in the news, and I can't think of the name of it now. But anyway, I think Durham is going to come out with both guns blazing.
Yeah, and I'd agree with what Jane said. I think they want to have an airtight case because he's such a prominent figure. He played such a prominent role in the Russian investigation, Hillary thing. They want to have, you know.
They want him to go down.
Yeah.
You know, there was a side of me that said, I'm wondering if the DOJ has painted themselves over the years in such a tight corner that if they bring one guy down, then all of a sudden everybody's going to be ratting on everybody, and they're going to be in court. But isn't that what we want? We want them to drain the swamp.
Well, in it just.
Do you ever think about it that way?
In just an overall general view of it, I do think it's very clear. We've known this for quite some time, but I think the report, it's very clear that Comey really tainted the FBI, and he hurt the FBI in a way that I personally think we've got to go from the top to. I'm not a Christopher Wray fan.
Oh, that man is deep state.
So I think he really hurt it to the point.
Huh? Oh.
Who were you looking for?
If you go to John Durham Wikipedia in the first paragraph, it's in there. John Durham Wikipedia site.
So I think he just really exposed how Comey really hurt the FBI and these agencies. Just, is there a deep state? Yes. I mean, we know that, and we see that.
Here's a question for you. Since you're the only one who watches the other side of the mountain, do you think...
Dark side of the moon.
Yeah, right. When they were...
dark side of the moon.
When Fox was on, here's 76 pages, and here's this Trump's attorney, what's his name? I mean, he was furious. He was saying, bam. Do you think they reported any of that on the... Or do you know if they... I said, Bill, these people don't know any of this.
Let's say no. And let's say Joe Scarborough and his gang of evil ones this morning said the report vindicated Comey.
Oh my!
He used that word.
Gosh.
That's it.
Crossfire.
Crossfire.
Yes,
Thank you, Doug.
Comey is vindicated.
Yeah.
They did. Yeah,
him.
It is. They were making fun of you and I the way we look at it.
You and me.
They were coming after us. Comey, you know, they were in the positive for James Comey. Period. Just like that. And you just wonder to yourself, how can you really live with yourself? Well, I know how they do. They go down the hall and they pick up that white envelope and they look in there and say, "Damn, I'll lie again Monday."
You know what?
I mean,
think
that's
about
how much
this.
I'm getting paid.
They get paid in cash?
Yeah, I'll lie. Direct deposit.
Think about this guy was reading this about his own son. Let's do a hypothetical here. Do you think he would say these 76 pages vindicated my son? No, he wouldn't. He'd be furious. Think about that.
What do you think about
how's their mind work?
Lawrence O'Donnell and Rachel Maddow talking about
Oh my gosh.
All right,
I just
so
want your quick take on
no,
this.
Lawrence. I did a segment the other day on Lawrence O'Donnell. He comes out and he reads the retraction. Did you hear it?
Oh,
I did.
But it didn't say anything.
But
It
here's
may
the
be
thing.
true,
No, here's
but
the thing.
we
What he
don't
did,
know.
if you
Oh,
watch it,
geez.
is it had the it was under the guise like I made a mistake because the journalistic integrity of MSNBC is so high, right?
I didn't follow the proper verification
Right.
process.
If I would have that we have in place here, I would not have been allowed to do right.
I would not have been allowed to report this.
Right, exactly. So on one hand, he's saying, I'm sorry for lying, but then he's saying this network has such, a what's the word I'm looking for, Josh? Because it was the other day. But they're
High standard.
the
yeah.
standards of this net, and I that's what Josh put on the segment we put out. So we found out MSNBC has standards.
Look,
Well, you think they would have fired him for not following their standards?
the only show on MSNBC that's got any following at all is Rachel Madcow.
Yeah.
So what does he do? He appears on her show and makes that statement, and then does
And
the
she acted
retract.
stunned.
Then he does the retraction on his show where nobody is following.
Right. Plus, he didn't say it wasn't true. He said he just left it like it really was true. That's the impression, right?
Yeah.
It really, but I shouldn't have said it so
My
soon.
source, singular. My source could have been the milkman.
Well, I love this, and I don't want to run out of time on subjects, but I love this is they'll come up
We'll
on
never
there.
do that.
No, but they'll come up on the news like, Deutsche Bank says they have tax returns. Yes, you got a loan there. If you went and bought a house, you submitted three years tax returns.
Yeah.
If you're doing business, you submit tax. If you get a loan like millions of people in the world, you submit this paper, but they put it up. Deutsche Bank says they have Trump's tax returns. Yes, he got a loan there.
And now the howls from the left are, they're slow walking it. They're just taking their time.
And there were co-signers.
All the oligarchs. All those darn oligarchs.
And Mad Cow goes, oh,
Yeah.
boy.
Oligarchs.
I think she was even just kind of going,
How many oligarchs
really?
were there?
How many oligarchs does it take to get Trump a loan?
That's right.
Talk about
Hey,
Quebec.
did you hear the Obamas are back in the political hemisphere?
No, tell us about it, Bruce.
They said are coming out, and he's going to hit the campaign trail.
Oh.
Because he's got to pay for that house in Massachusetts. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I thought the
He's
$65 million
joining with,
Netflix book deal paid for it.
Oh, a $65 million joint book
It's
deal
just
for
pay
Michelle
money. It's
and him.
just
Muchel.
Yeah, the Netflix thing was on top of that.
Yeah.
I don't even. The guy was handing out pamphlets on the corner.
Yeah.
He's never had a job handing out pamphlets. Then became a Chicago state senator.
God forbid.
By default.
And then
95% of the time voted, present. He never went
Right.
no.
I was going to say, look at his voting record.
And then he ended up running against Alan Keyes. Let's not go there, okay?
Alan Keyes.
Okay, so Lawrence O'Donnell, we got that. You do know that they have breaking news that Trump has mentioned. They've looked at it. Trump has mentioned his businesses in the area 70 times. So they're doing a value. They're putting the marketing value of what Trump does every time he mentions one of his golf courses. So they went back and counted every time he mentions them, and they're going to put a value together of what he has gained as president of the United States by mentioning.
Yeah,
they're crazy. They're crazy as hell.
That's about as exact as figure out where this hurricane's going to hit.
Hurricane. You know what? Oh, don't get me started.
How about the Canadian PM who's getting absolutely hammered for coming out publicly and saying, I hope Hurricane Dorian has a direct hit on Mar-a-Lago. This is the ex-Prime Minister of Canada.
That could clean out the bed bugs.
Yeah.
If, a nice shot at Mar-a-Lago.
That's right, exactly.
Now you understand why she was only PM for 5 months.
Yeah.
Well, it could wash out the bed bugs, and there are other sanitary violations.
Bed bugs swim.
Anyhow, so I said this. I always love an opportunity to say, I not told you so. No, I don't want to do that. That I shouldn't love that. But I do like. I do.
Way
like
to go, Lawrence! You just did.
Did I previously mention?
I do like to say I could have been close to right. Now, a couple days ago on the show, as Dorian is making their way up through and it missed Puerto Rico, and they're in the newsroom saying, darn, we wanted to rip Puerto Rico apart because this could have been good for whatever.
There would have been no FEMA dollars left.
Right.
You put them at
They
the
already
border.
had their news
Yes,
station
yeah,
there.
they're ready to
They were
go.
all ready to-
But as it missed Puerto Rico and
Standing in the water.
headed for Florida, I said 2 days ago, got the tape to say it, I said, the media will say that this is a campaign, this is a great opportunity, and Trump will treat it like a campaign opportunity, which will, if Ron DeSantis, if this hits Florida the way I think it will, and Ron DeSantis, the governor down there, handles it well, the president handles it well, Florida will be for Donald Trump. Donald Trump will finalize Florida just in the handling of this hurricane if it's that big.
He canceled Poland.
He canceled Poland, right?
Do you know what the MSNBC crowd did? They said the only reason he canceled Poland is he actually is treating this hurricane as like one of his campaign rallies.
Oh.
That they're So, all right, we don't have a lot of time, and I don't want Rick. Did you have a subject that you didn't want to miss out on this?
No,
one?
I had
good notes.
no. I just there was a couple of really good quotes, and I don't take credit for them, but I take credit for reading them. The green, we don't need to go into them because they speak for themselves. The Green New Deal is the smuggling mechanism for socialism.
Yeah,
Think
it's
about
not
that.
about environment. It's all about the changing the economic approach. Of the
Exactly, and there's a pretty good article, even though I really don't subscribe to following Tom Donahue, the head of the U.S. Chamber.
Right.
He really did come out with a good article, and if you take time to look at it, I won't. It's too long to go into now, but Mike Huckabee, I think, is really good old Arkansas boy, right?
Love him.
He really says some profound things, and there was a piece that he wrote the other day that this I think encapsulates the whole essence of what we
He's
go through
good.
on a daily basis. And he says, a society. Listen to this, really though. A society that isn't rooted in the absolute morality of faith in God and collective belief in the sacred value of human life will always tend toward division and incivility, regardless of who is in political power or who writes our textbooks and newspapers. I really think that is a really succinct way of telling people the moral decay of this country is rampant.
We never talk about the cause, but we always think we have no solutions, but we think we do with bigger and greater government, but never talk about the cause of the problems. Bruce, is there anything particularly as a subject matter you wanted to get into this morning?
No, I got the Obamas, and we did. Johnny, I think we hit a lot of good ones today.
Okay, well, you had the big one, Comey. You went with the big JC.
Oh, like I'm the first one that.
Well, you did. You said
We all have Comey on our hat up here. Let's talk about Comey.
Well, he's a
You
big
do
guy.
know people see that thing.
He's 6'6".
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You were always
air
on
balls, missed shots.
I can't wait.
Guy hit the 3-pointer, whatever you call them these days.
Well, my
winners or
airball
losers.
ties into exactly what he was saying. I don't know if you guys read the story about Georgetown, Texas. You read about that little
No.
town down there? Well, in 2012, they started a whole big campaign to get away from fossil fuels. So they went solar and wind big time. Well, guess what? It's not working out.
How's this
Municipal
working for you?
utility is $7 million in arrears, in the red, losing money. So now they've had to reconnect to the grid, so they get electricity from fossil fuels and this and that and the other thing. And they said if they had succeeded in doing this plan, they would have needed $400 million to build a battery farm that would, when the wind stopped and the sun wasn't shining that day, would get them through.
doing
So
the
on a
wind
cold
at
winter
night.
day, it would have lasted 12 hours. And they would have froze their butts off. So Green New Deal?
Or all those electric cars would have been stalled in the streets.
Yeah. And my home run is, here in Georgia, there was a bus driver down in Bartow County who saved this girl from getting hit by a pickup that was going around the stop bus. The bus driver saw this girl walking, and I think the girl was like looking at something, not paying attention. The pickup was coming around the bus in violation of, you stop behind buses.
Right.
And she blasted the horn. The kid jumped up and got out of the way at the last second. It was pretty close. So kudos to her. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that, kind of makes your day. But,
Good.
people that don't stop for buses, I mean, they should be sent to prison. They really should.
Disconnected his battery and took the plate off of his truck, too, and said it couldn't have been me because my truck won't start.
What a loser.
Good one, Bruce. And how about you there?
Well,
young
I
man?
had 3 losers just in case
Three
we got
losers?
to some of these.
Bad
week.
week.
We already did the Biden loser. We already did the Lawrence O'Donnell loser. We already did the Comey loser.
What you got?
So I'm going with Donnie Deutsch, who just got his 5th television show. Count him, Donnie. 5. It's a Never Trumper. Canceled from MSNBC.
Does everybody know who Donnie Deutsch is?
And just this week, he was going to have Scaramucci on.
That's right.
No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
The mooch.
How do you get a show canceled on MSNBC? I don't know. Anyway, what's that?
Didn't follow the standards.
That's right. Didn't follow the standards. And my winner is Boris Johnson.
Yay!
Yeah, Boris, the Prime Minister of Britain, got the Queen to side with him, saying that he wanted to postpone Parliament until October the 13th, 14th, which is 2 weeks behind the date where they will exit. The Brexit will take effect. He only wants 2 weeks of discussion because he feels that it's just beating a dead horse. And he got the Queen to side with him. Then he got a court in Scotland to wipe out a challenge and said that there is no injunctive relief here.
So we're looking at a no-deal Brexit.
No, I disagree. The EU
You're allowed.
The EU will do something. They've known that Parliament was going to obstruct all along, and this right here, the EU is sitting up and taking notice. That's my opinion. I think he will get a deal because he has done everything he has to do in the chain to make it happen, and that it's you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think there'll be a deal.
In the famous words of our president, we'll see what happens.
There you go. Jane, what do you got?
I got a warning.
A
big
Wait,
warning.
we do winners and losers. Jane's got the new segment called a warning.
Can you put the warning alarm up? Real quickly?
Right,
Go ahead.
right. The warning is beware of social indexing. And just to hit the high points, in China now, you're social indexed. So you have your phone. If you are seen talking to a person whom they deem an undesirable, that's been criticized, your index goes down. If you do anything at all that they do not deem, I've forgotten all the things that you could do, which are hundreds and hundreds of them. If you make a statement on social media that's just a little bit, your social index goes down. And when it gets so low, you cannot get on public transportation. They prohibit you from getting a job. Now, if you want to see all this, look up Glenn Beck on social indexing in China, and he will lay it out, and it is there now. And of course, it's starting here. Sort of. I mean, you've got Uber and all that. They're going to give us a social index. That's just little.
And China's on the way to having 600 million cameras throughout
Listen,
their country with
and
face
they watch
recognition.
and if they see you on a camera talking with someone they don't like, then you will not have a job. They are going to put notes on your neighbor's houses saying,
And they can read lips with this facial
do
recognition.
not talk to this person. They're going to ostracise them. So it's coming, and you've got everyone getting on YouTube. They're taking the channels off. Just beware. We cannot let this happen. It's going to happen fast.
All right, folks, we have our North Georgia Senior Living coming up with Jesse Barton, Community Relations Director at Cameron Hall. We have our Pet of the Week here, so we got to move along. I'm your host, BKP. Let me just say something. 2 quick things. This past week, there was a story on Ring, your doorbell with the video camera. They have signed an agreement with thousands of law enforcement agencies across the country to use your video when needed.
Without our permission? I mean,
they send you an email.
Oh, and say we are going to.
Yes, yeah, exactly. You look that up. Exactly. That's something to look. But the thing I say is, I always get amazed at how we sit back and cheer these things as these great things that are, innovation and safety for our children, this and that.
Fighting.
And just one more way the government watches us. But
they know who goes in our house.
I can't. I'm not going to tell you like where I live, but where I live, the doorbell, where it would be. I don't need a doorbell. Okay, my dog been my doorbell for 14 years.
Isn't that your gun sport?
Right. Exactly. So anyhow, the where the doorbell would go. Right across the street, I have a guy that has my neighbor. Love the guy. The family, they're farmers, and they probably keep 19, 20 head of cattle. So what I decided is I am getting the Ring doorbell, and coming to you soon is cow cam. Okay, I'm doing 24 hours of cow cam. It's just going to be cows in the field. You can watch them live.
Does it have a methane gauge?
We may have to put that up.
On the cow field?
But cow cam is coming. All right, I've got to go, but I want to say to all of you out there, I appreciate Tom down in Florida. You always send nice notes, so many of you. I want to thank these guys, all right, not to go too deep, just trying to handle some personal, trying to handle some personal things right now, back and forth across the country doing some things, and I can count on these three here, and I appreciate them very much. And I want to thank all the entire staff at FYN. We've been preparing. We believe in organization. That's the thing we preach at our company is organization. And I tell you what, the entire staff at FYN, with me, they can actually do things without me, and it's shooting my nerves. Okay? But they're handling it, doing a great job. So go to fetchyournews.com. Great content. I will be back in the studio Monday morning, but right after these messages, I'll have Jesse Barton. Again, thank you. Thank everybody. Jesse Barton, Community Relations Director for Cameron Hall. I think I got it right. We'll see when we return.
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Do you feel like healthcare has become too impersonal?
3 times an hour, I'll get you in, I'll get you out.
At Lifetime Medical Center, you're more than a number. We get to know you, not just your medical issues. Dr. Alana Kent is board certified in family practice and offers same-day appointments. She and her staff treat conditions from minor to chronic issues. Lifetime Medical Center, convenient to Jasper and Blue Ridge.
This may sting a little.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Hey folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from Sycamore Crossing and Blue Ridge. It's now time for North Georgia Senior Living with the Community Relations Director at Cameron Hall, Jesse Barton. Jesse, we have our delivery trucks. It's live.
I see that.
We'll just say plenty of beverages for the weekend coming in.
Plenty of adult beverages for the Labor Day weekend
Yes,
are
sir.
being delivered behind us.
Okay, so we're going to power through, speak up a little bit. You know, what I want to talk about, and I have been dealing with something with both of my elderly parents here recently, and I stop and think what these, and I'm going to say, these, what word? Living facilities.
So I hate the word facility because it has a negative connotation to me.
It does, doesn't it?
So I prefer, it's all in the way you spin it. Remember, I'm a PR person. So, community.
Okay.
We live in a community.
So these community living centers, or
Yes,
whatever, okay.
Sure, that works.
But I have recently thought, wow, this is difficult. This can be difficult because there's a lot to pay attention to that we don't think about, that your staff and others are having to deal with. My mom and dad, I mean, when I say get personal, but my mom and dad are on an enormous amount of medications. There's several.
Sure.
They have a morning, noon, and evening, and I think, wow, this is a challenge getting it correct, getting it dispensed correctly.
Right.
It's got to be a big challenge, in places like where you're at and you work. And I think to myself, and then all of a sudden the doctor can call and say, take this out of the rotation, we're going to change this, we want to put this in. We need to get involved as children with our parents' care and pay attention to it. I mean, I don't know where I'm going. You know what I mean?
Well, and I think it goes back not just elder care. I think it's anybody, but we need to be involved. We need to be our person's advocate, especially in situations where they are receiving care in a setting, maybe a hospital. Don't just sit back and watch what they're doing. Get in there and understand what's happening. Be that advocate, because, unfortunately, and this is a topic for another day, health care does boil down to what Medicare pays for.
Right.
Unfortunately, that's the way it is developed. But your wife shared a story with me, and the gentleman gave us permission to talk about it today. But he had to place his brother into an assisted living community. Unfortunately, there was a medication incident with that particular resident, and he did not receive his medication for a few days. So he's, promoting being an advocate for his family, going out there and being an advocate for your loved ones, and really paying attention to what these communities are doing. So I come at it with two approaches. You know, I sympathize that situation happened. I will say that just because you have one bad situation doesn't mean that is a blanket for the industry. And not to, discredit his information. That would be a terrible thing. I would feel horrible if that happened with my family, and I would be advocating and getting in the face of that community, and I would probably be doing what they did and calling the state regulating agency. So on the flip side of that, being from the community standpoint, what I want to say is that I can speak for my community. I can't speak for the industry as a whole. Our community is regulated, and the industry is regulated by the State Department of Community Health. We have regulations in place that we have to follow to dispense medications to residents. We have to have the right training, and they have to be documented. They're listed on a state registry, the people that have been trained to dispense these medications. The second piece of that is residents can refuse to take their medication. So while we have these regulations to keep in place what we're doing and what we're tracking and safeguards, you have resident rights that oversee those regulations. So you can say, you know what, I don't want my medicine today. We can ask you again, but after we've asked you for 3 times and you've refused 3 times, we just, at that point it does become a resident right issue. And so the state is really big on those residents having those rights. So we have to document resident refused medication.
Right.
If they do that a couple of times, depending on, I'll speak for us, we're going to kind of give that family a heads up. So not all communities will. It's depending on their operations, their policies, procedures. But we're going to kind of say, hey, they're starting to refuse this medication. We may even contact the doctor and say, just a heads up, your patient is refusing. Not that we can do anything about that. So our system is we want to make sure you're getting your medications correctly, because if you're feeling well and you're doing well, you're going to be a happy, productive resident who is going to have a longer stay with us, and we can help you maintain a better quality of life. So what we do, we have an electronic system, so it's kind of like we scan a barcode underneath that scanner, pretend like the bike's a scanner today. So we scan that barcode underneath the scanner. It documents what time to the minute that the resident gets the medication. So we can go back and say, oh, you know what, they refused that day, but then they took their evening dose. Or, you know what, it shows that we got both medication doses. Our staff has high integrity, so they're not just scanning it and dumping the medicine. People fear that happens. They're going to give the medication to the resident. They're usually scanning it right when the resident's standing there with them. So there are safeguards in place. So from the community standpoint, I will say that we try to, ensure that medications are given correctly and the errors are not happening, because we actually have to report those errors to the state if that happens.
Let me say this, because this is a very interesting subject. This is a fine line. Just because you move into an assisted living doesn't mean you give up all your rights.
You give up, yeah.
Right, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you're in an assisted living, right? You still have rights. So if somebody comes by and says, here's your morning meds, and you say, not taking them, well, they still have those rights.
Absolutely.
But you have the documentation you have to do, and that happens. And I will tell you this, my dad, I go there, my dad is, if it's time to take medicine, he takes all of his medicine and doesn't. My mom, no. Okay? Now, I'm not going to say she's difficult, but Mom, that's one of the morning pills, and it's still right there. I'm not taking that.
Yeah.
Mom, no, you're going to take... I'm not taking that one. That one bothers me. That's what makes me sick in the afternoon. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, we know, and I don't want to say that happens, but that doesn't make... and that's why I think, and we like to do the segment, and I'm going to be very candid with you. if I looked at the camera and I was asking people to contact you, but I didn't feel that comfort, I wouldn't do it another day. And I want you know I wouldn't. I mean,
I know.
But I know when I tell people to contact you, because they do need to have somebody to work with. They do need to, at this time, when there are things going on with mom and dad, they do need a person they can communicate with. And I really suggest get in touch with Jesse Barton here, Community Relations Director for Cameron Hall and LJ, because we hear a bad story and then it seems to rumble into like the industry.
It does. At which, shed some light on it. Let's make sure as somebody, if you're trusting me to care for your parents, then I want to make sure that I'm safeguarding your parent. I want to make sure that I'm doing the job that I'm supposed to, because, and maybe that's my personal integrity, but I don't want you to come back and say, you know what, your folks didn't do what you said that they were going to do, and now, my loved one is in the hospital because they didn't get their medication. I don't want that on my shoulders. I don't want to lay my head down at night and say, oh, no worries. They'll be okay.
And that in itself, when that in itself, medication and dispensing medication, if somebody refuses it, you guys go through all of the documentation necessary by law to document they refused it, where the medicine's going. It's medicine that was not taken.
Right.
And you have to go through. You just explained that whole list.
Right. The other thing that people think about assisted livings, we are not licensed as a medical facility. So
right.
If you come to me and say, hey, I've got a headache, I really would like some Tylenol, if it is not listed in your medication record that the doctor said you can have that, I can't give you that. So we can't give you anything over the counter, vitamins included, if your doctor does not prescribe it. The other side of that is a lot of times people will feel like places like assisted livings and memory cares will tend to over-medicate their residents so they don't have to deal with them. We don't have that ability. Everything we do has to be documented by the physician. The physician has to send in new orders if he changes the medication. So we're really trying to safeguard, and we even partner with a local pharmacy to destruct the narcotics that get discontinued. So
they will put a list, and I didn't mean to interrupt you, but they will put a list out. The prescription says just X, take it this time, take it this time, take it this time, right? So they'll put that out. But they also, the doctors will say, as needed. They will send a list as needed, but put on the approved sheet.
So when they send in an as needed, they have to put up to how many times a day can that happen, not to exceed X amount. So if you're coming to me every few minutes wanting a Tylenol, there is a limit that the doctor has set. So, and I definitely sympathize with Lisa's friend's family, because that is a horrible situation, and I won't say that it doesn't happen in our industry. Unfortunately, we do know that it can happen. So definitely get in there and find out what the community does in those circumstances. If a resident refuses, or ask if they've had any medication errors. Ask these things up front. Get involved.
Absolutely. Hey, I'm your host, BKP, and this is Jesse Barton, Community Relations Director. Jesse Barton, Community Relations Director, Cameron Hall. Did I get all that right? I'm just a lot I got going on.
And there's so much going on.
Yes. So, hey, find us on YouTube, FYN TV, Fetcher News, and find this in the playlist right here, North Georgia Senior Living. And I recommend calling this lady here. If you have any questions, tell them how to get in touch with you, Jesse.
Sure. Call me at Cameron Hall down in LJ at 706-515-4100, or find us on the web at CameronHallofLJ.com.
Little background noise, but we never know here because it's a live show and the delivery trucks are here for Labor Day weekend, making sure there's plenty of refreshments. But we're going to round out the show with our Pet of the Week just in a couple minutes from the Humane Society of Blue Ridge.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in Ella next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in Ella next to Walmart.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
The summer truck event is here at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. So come get a payload of savings on Georgia's favorite trucks, like over $11,000 off new Silverado crew cabs, or more than $6,000 off Colorado crew cabs. Every Chevy truck and SUV is discounted for this special event. Don't miss out. The summer truck event at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where new Chevy trucks always cost less.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Circuit World, with multiple locations to serve you in Murphy and Franklin, North Carolina, Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and Ella, Georgia. Locally owned and operated since 1985. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. Name brand products like LG, Samsung, Dell, Whirlpool, Ashley, Catnapper, and more. No credit check, only 10% down on furniture, and only $10 down on any new lease purchase. Mention FYN10 for your special deal today at Circuit World.
Hey folks, we're back. It's time for the Pet of the Week from the Humane Society of Blue Ridge. I'm your host here from Sycamore Crossing. Rena, who do we have with us? Miko, come here.
Nico, this is Nico.
Nico, come here. Come here. Who the puppy? Who the puppy? Come here. Who the puppy? Who the puppy? Who is the puppy? Who is the puppy? Hi, Nico. Oh, come here. Oh, you big.
Yeah, this is Nico. Nico's been on here quite a few times. We believe he has some Basset in him. He's about 2-3 years old. We do believe he needs to be the only dog in a home. As you can see, he's very playful. He loves to give kisses. He has no problem sitting on the furniture with you. He'll relax. He's good, obedient. You just have to be constantly teaching him and routine. And he's really good. He loves to ride in the vehicle. But as I said, he does need to be the only dog in a home. What Nico does is he attaches to his owner.
No, what Nico does is he finds where you put the treats. That's what Nico does.
I was wondering what he was doing. Look, he's got to make him sit.
I got it. Sit, boo-boo, sit. Don't look at me like that.
He does have to be the only dog, and he will bond to his owner to the point of if there is another dog, then he gets jealous if the other dog gets involved. There's no fighting. He needs to be the only dog in a home. He's a really good home. He's probably been with us a year now, so we really need to find him a home.
Now, how old is he?
He's 2 or 3 years old. I can't
Who
remember.
is the Nico?
But he's a really
There's
good dog.
a loving puppy.
Lots of kisses. He is very strong.
You got a little extra.
Yeah,
right
he has
there.
a lot of extra.
Little extra on the top. You are beautiful.
He is very, very
quit
strong.
smooching all over me.
So a fenced-in yard would be great for Nico, or like I said, when we're walking and he pulls me, I just tell him no, and I pull him back, and then he calms down. He's really excited today to be out here and walking around among
like
everybody.
it? Do quit look at me. Look at me. What do you say? Get kiss.
Give kisses.
All right, get your snack. Get your Scooby snack. Hey, listen, the Humane Society of Blue Ridge here. Beautiful. Adopt Me Now, Nico. All the puppies gone?
All the puppies are gone. We have 2 others now, but they are, I think they have pre-adoptions on them. They have some interest on them. We still have Sienna, and she's less than a year, and she has a lot of puppy left in her. And I'll try to bring her next week again. Jinx and Juno are still there. They're big dogs, 70 pounds. They need to find a home with a fence, no chickens. And
close your ears
and
about
course,
the chickens.
Of course, Nico's there, and Atlas is there. He's the one that I had last week or the week before. He's heartworm positive, so he has to go through some treatments. But he is a great dog too. So.
So any special hours or this weekend, holiday weekend, Labor Day closed over there?
Probably closed on Labor Day. We're closed on Sunday, then we're closed on Tuesday. So it'll be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We'll be closed. As far as I know, they are open Saturday. Why don't you call first? It's 706-632-4357. The hours Saturday are 10 to 2, but do give them a call first to make sure they're open today until 5, and then next Wednesday, Thursday and Friday 10 to 5, and then Saturdays are 10 to 2. We have lots and lots of kittens and adult cats that are looking for homes, and those are actually some really good loving cats that just want to be with you and sit in your lap, and others will just play and entertain you that way. So come on out and see what we have to offer to try to add to your home and be a good companion for you.
You know what? The Humane Society of Blue Ridge, they do an outstanding job with pet placement. As Rena has said this morning, Nico is going to be a great dog. Needs to be the only one in the house. They do know how to identify that. If you want to come up and meet one of the dogs, you have to do a meet and greet if you have another pet in the house. So that's all on the website. They do guarantee a disease. They have an intake process and guarantee when you adopt a pet from them, it is disease free. You guys do an amazing job with that. I call it pet placement in the house properly.
Yes.
You have companion dogs. Yeah, you know which dogs would be great for companions, kids, or multiple dogs in the house. And that goes for the cats,
and we have all
too.
sizes. We have from 20, 30 pounds up to 70 pounds. So strong ones and ones that are Atlas is around. He's actually 49 pounds, but he is such a calm walking dog with you that you wouldn't even know he was that he weighed that much.
Humane Society of BlueRidge.org, and also follow them on Facebook. Now, before we close, we'll take a quick minute. It is Labor Day weekend. Carly, will come on over here just a minute. I got Carly Hammond.
He's very friendly. Worst case scenario, he's going to kiss you.
And you're very well dressed today, too.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Carly here. Let's talk about the Labor Day barbecue weekend. Now, if you don't know it, every Labor Day weekend they have an amazing barbecue. Tell us what it benefits, what you're doing, what the hours, and give us a little bit of what's going on.
Okay, Labor Day barbecue is sponsored by Good Samaritans of Fannin County, and that is an association of different kinds of denominations of churches.
Right.
And we all get along. And what we do is raise money for the people in Fannin County that have financial needs. Good Samaritans this barbecue's been going on since '81. And so we argued the first couple of years about what to give the money to, and then we set up our own benevolent account. So it really is an opportunity for people to volunteer, but the Labor Day barbecue weekend is our primary fundraiser. So we want to encourage people to come out and eat barbecue with us on Monday. We have a drive-through for folks that are working on the weekend. They can pick up meals for everybody in their office and drive through, and that has worked out very well. The Sunday afternoon, we have a worship service at 6 o'clock in the park, and that is followed by an ice cream social that Joe Sapillo does and sets up. For many years, we worried about the plastic buckets of ice cream melting if the preachers were too long-winded in the service. But now
Never.
So we have really solved that with through Joe Sapillo at their wonderful community partner. What's new this year, we have a picnic night, which is an opportunity for local people to sell arts and crafts. You know, we have a whole booth fee, I think, of $25, but a lot of people can't participate in other art shows because they're just more expensive than they can or juried and they can't get in. Anybody local is welcome, and that's defined by tri-state area. The addition to the picnic night this year is called a cruise-in, and that is 50s cars or older cars, and they're going to be set up on Church Street. The other addition to the picnic night this year is that Noah Sims, who is in the top 7 of the MasterChef competition, will be on site, and he'll be meeting people at 12 o'clock. And we really need to encourage the local community support him. This is getting a little down to the line with him, but we're all proud of him. So it's a 3-day weekend in Blue Ridge. We invite you to come, participate in any area that you can, and we can go online to goodsamfc.com if you want to volunteer online. And anybody that takes pictures, we welcome those. So we're developing a photo album, and we're just getting there. But it's odd because I actually have a flip phone, so I don't take pictures. Anybody else that wants to take pictures, please do. Check out the website. Come visit us over the weekend, and if we can help you, let us know.
All right, folks, that is Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, downtown in the park, Blue Ridge Park, downtown Blue Ridge. Labor Day barbecue, again, Saturday, picnic knack, I like that. Sunday is the community worship with the ice cream social, and Monday, barbecue dinner with gospel and bluegrass. It's a 3-day event, downtown Blue Ridge. How many years now?
Well, the barbecue started in 81.
That's right. So they know what they're doing. Good barbecue stop. Thank you. Everybody enjoy your holiday weekend. And if you're evacuating from Florida and you're coming to the North Georgia mountains, we've seen that before. Stay safe in Florida. If you're coming up, welcome. Glad to have you. Josh, let's go. Don't forget Friday Night Football. Everybody's out Friday night. Follow Team FYN Sports Facebook page for Friday Night Football all over North Georgia and Western North Carolina. I'll be back Monday morning. Take us out, Josh.